I'm going to exclude the horses out of this treat area. First of all, they have no business being in here. This is basically a tree farm, and all these branches are too low. Most of them are dead and poking out, and they are just dangerous. And also, there's nothing to eat in here anyway, so the horses have absolutely no business being in here. As a cattle pasture, as a feeding lot, even as a holding pen, it really is completely useless. Should never have been built. Hard to maintain, if not impossible. So as a cattle pasture, it's not great. Yet how I am configuring it as a paddock paradise for my horses, it's next to perfect. Of course, I still need to go through all the seasons to see what the footing is like. I suspect that especially at the lower part there, it will be wet. So setting up with very lightweight electric fencing is super useful, because that gives me the most flexibility for the longest time, so that I can reconfigure as I see fit when the horses are actually testing the track, because they are going to be the judge, of course, as to whether this thing functions or not. I have been dumping manure here in between the trees just to compost here in place. This needs to be taken out. So I expect the horses to do their business in this area. I want to feed out the hay over there. Therefore, I think it would be very useful to have a gate here spanning all the way to here, which would give me easy access to the manure here, and I can keep the place where my horses are eating day in, day out nice and clean. So I set up right away by visualizing, hence visionary leadership, how am I going to use this space? This section is not too bad. There's a nice stretch along the road that looks pretty decent. My feeling is that this was mowed, just because you can see it from the road. I'm going to terminate this line here and then run the next line over, because once the run-in is cleaned up from all the bullshit that is still in there, I want to give the horses access to the run-in through here. This is, oops, more burdock. Lovely. Okay, so this still needs to come out. And this needs to come out. So this is the road into the run-in. Burdock needs to come out. More burdock. Lovely. Young burdock that I hope the horses will eat. More burdock, burdock. Lots of ragweed and thistle still in here. And here is the run-in. Still completely filled with shit. It's a lovely, spacious, beautiful run-in, but completely useless. Wow, it is just a bunch of pure bullshit. And of course, animals are going to spend a lot of time in here. It's a lovely, cozy spot, out of the elements, out of the wind, the rain, the snow, even out of the sun when you need it. But it also means loads and loads of manure building up. So when you design and place a building such as this, knowing that animals are going to hang out in here and thus poop in here, you want to set it up in such a way that it is easy to clean. In order to access this run-in, you need to come all the way down this fairly narrow road in to this gate over here, and then around back to the run-in. And then if you want to get a manure spreader in here or something, good luck, because I don't think a manure spreader is going to make that turn. In other words, set up again without really giving it much thought. How is this building going to be used? What does it need in terms of maintenance? How can we make access easy? None of these essential elements were really considered. And the results are a building that hasn't been maintained ever. Anyway, for now I'm just gonna bypass it. Of course, all of this will have to be knocked down at some point, because this is also not eating at all. This is just weeds. Apparently cattle doesn't mind eating the tops of these things, but that's about it. Hence, they are still here, along with the burdock, and the burdock, and the burdock. The amount of burdock is truly astounding. And all going to seed. So even though I'm for now bypassing this whole road and just putting up a fence here, I will knock down all this burdock before the seeds mature.